Here's the table I built. This video is going to be a how I did it video and not a how to do it video. The first thing I did was look up plans online. I came across this website and the plans for this table. I don't know if it's a clever play on words, but it's really two chicks that are building stuff. So Shanty to chic is pretty clever if you ask me. Once I had a basic idea of what I was gonna do, I went to Home Depot and I bought a whole bunch of wood. These 8 right here are gonna be the planks for the top of the table. Those are the runners. These are the pieces of the floor. Those are the breadboards, and then that's the top of the legs. Then I jointed and planed it so it would be square on all 4 sides. It's also worth mentioning that I have pretty much no idea what I'm doing, and this is all trial and error. Then it was time to start attaching the planks. All right, so I have planks 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pocket holes drilled and screwed together. Came out all right, had to do a little bit of sanding. My hair is fantastic, by the way. On the edges here, because I didn't make perfect cuts. I think it'll be all right. My breadboards are gonna go there. It's a little better with my hat on. Anyway, speaking of, I drilled the 2 pocket holes in each one to connect the breadboards. And that is what I'm gonna do on this side as well. And there are 2 pocket holes. All right, so there's all 8 pieces. I haven't attached them yet, but that's how it's gonna look. These little gaps right here. I was thinking about taking the circular saw and just getting a real close line, but I decided that might mess up the pocket holes in the depth, and I don't want a screw to pop out. So I'm just gonna keep it like this and use some wood filler. Hopefully that'll wood glue and sawdust, and we will figure it out one way or another. After the boards were attached and the breadboards were put on, it was time to start the legs, which was not fun. I'm cutting this cool little angle that I already screwed up, but I'm going to screw it up on the rest of them on purpose so they're all uniform for the top part of the bottom part of the floor piece. All right. And that's the finished product. I have 2 of these things now. That's gonna be the bottom. Okay, so luckily I didn't film it because we would have been here forever. But here are my legs. They're pretty much 2x4s that got cut. So they're square on all sides with a 15-degree angle on each side. All right, so there are the 4 sides of my legs. I wood glued them and finishing nailed them together. And one will go over here like this, kind of more in the center, I guess, like that. And the other one will go over there, and then we'll put on the top piece. Far from perfect, but good enough. Not very proud of the fit at the bottom of either. I put a ton of wood glue on there, and I'll end up putting some filler in there, but what a disaster. All right, and there are both of them together. Then I'll build the big X. Okay, so there's gonna be a little bit of a change of plans. As you can see, this little X right here is made of 2x4s that have been sandwiched together this way. Now, since I don't really know what I'm doing, I gotta fix that too, that's disgusting. Since I don't really know what I'm doing, my angles are pretty difficult to cut, and I've already screwed it up. Instead of screwing it up a ton, and due to the capabilities of my miter saw and not knowing how to use it correctly, instead of doing it this way and sandwiching them, I'm gonna flip them this way. Now I can just trace the cuts like this. Like that, right there, right there. And then I'll make two of those same cuts, and I'll sandwich them together that way. And we'll see what happens. Okay, not attached yet, but I'm pretty happy with this. It's not perfect, but it is perfect enough for this project. Okay, so here you can see what I was actually talking about, which doesn't look that bad in my opinion. I just cut the 2x4s the same way and try to line them up, make it look like it's an X that runs all the way through. They're actually in there pretty good. I'm surprised. Wood glue and screws and filler and whatever else I need to do, I'm gonna do. Okay, here's most of one set of the legs. And let me tell you, you're lucky I didn't record me trying to make all these cuts. They didn't even come out perfect, but I am done. I must have done about 1,000 of them. 1,000 cuts. Hopefully somebody out there gets it. But I'm gonna screw all this stuff together soon and fill all the gaps. These parts go up here too. It's pretty cool actually. You know, it kind of looks like the 2x4s go all the way through. All right, so the pieces are cut as accurately as they're going to be. And as I mentioned before, I'm putting a lot of faith in my ability to wood fill and sand. The pieces are attached to each other, these 2x4s, but they're not attached obviously to the table legs or the rest of the X. I'm gonna try to sand them down real good first. Okay, they're screwed together. I did feel it shift a little bit as the screws went in and pulled the wood close, but I was able to slam this thing in there pretty much to my liking. It's obviously, you know, got a lot more work to do. It's still, part of it's kind of loose, but it's definitely not coming out. This is how I had to make my pocket holes to attach this X. I had to remove part of the Craig jig, which is luckily easily removable, and then clamp the wood on there because it's a little bit too wide. So I just drilled the holes. You can see how it came out. Pretty good, and then that'll fit in like this. All right, so that's pretty much where it's gonna go. I'll put this whole X together, and then I'll screw that together, glue and screw. And I have my pocket holes here. I did the same thing. Glue and screw that. So I glued them together while they were inside, so I could get them exactly where I need them to be. Because of what I think is gonna happen is the second I start screwing these pocket holes in, it's gonna pull the wood and they are gonna move out of place. So let's hope that the wood glue can hold them in place a little bit while I just reinforce this position with the screws. Turn the legs on their sides. I got the top part of the X glued on there. This one's glued and nailed. And I'll nail gun this one in there too. Attaching the foot pads. Okay, so the wood filling didn't go as well as I wanted to. I don't know why I couldn't get the sawdust to mix with it very well. But I fixed up most of the areas that were bugging me, and I left some of them, you know, because I thought they were fine. And we'll see what happens when I re-sand everything. I'm gonna sand everything down, the entire thing. Okay, so there's the tabletop. I orbital sanded, and I belt sanded, and I used a hand plane, and I sanded some more, and then I filled some things, and then I sanded some more, and it's all sanded out. It's as good as it's gonna get. Somewhere right around there I got really annoyed with the project in general and pretty frustrated, and I stopped recording, which I don't regret. It's too much sanding. It was ridiculous. Staining is not fun at all. I hated that whole thing, and I did 2 coats. Well, I stained it twice, I guess. And then I put a couple of coats of finish on there. That is the stain I used, and that is the finish I used. I'm very happy with both of them. Once it was all dry and ready, I brought the pieces into my house and I put it all together. I'm very happy with the way that it came out, but I'm very tired of this table. This was a big project. Some of it was fun, some of it was not. I have no interest in building another table, but we'll see. All those little areas of concern that I had, I am no longer concerned with. I like the way that it came out. I actually kind of like the table for its little imperfections. It makes me feel more like I have accomplished something rather than just pick something up at the store. I also built this bench to go along with it. I found some separate plans online, but I just used them a little bit. Kind of went off on my own, just threw it together, but that came out nice as well. The chairs I did not make. My wife bought those. I don't know where she got them, but if you really need to know, I can find out. And then my wife threw this little runner on there and this little tray with some candles and some fake flowers and stuff. I guess it ties it all together, makes it look nice. Can you believe that she wants to put a rug underneath this table? It's the new thing that we're fighting about. How ridiculous can you get? A rug under that table in this room. Crazy.